many of you will be serving some form of avocado today. It will likely be a Hass, and it might be guacamole. It might be served on a sandwich, but nachos, one way or another. A lot of avocados will be served. And joining us on the line right now from Zurich, Switzerland, which I think is pretty cool. We've never had anyone on from Zurich before, is Emiliano Escobedo. He's the executive director of the Hass Avocado Board. Welcome to the program, Emiliano.
Good morning.
How was the flight?
Thank you for having me. You went well. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're standing there, so that's always a good sign, right? Following a flight. So we were talking during the show prior to your segment here that Hass avocados are by far, the most popular avocado in the world. Isn't that right?
That is correct. In fact, in the United States, 95% of all avocados consumed are Hass avocados.
95%.
Wow. And why is that?
They're just, they're known for their creamy texture. They have really great flavor. They make the best guacamole. And they're also commercially, they're a great variety. You can kind of truck them across the country. You can import them into the U.S. and they will last longer than many other avocados and will not suffer any damages that typically happen when you're shipping fruit from one farm to a packing house and then into a truck to go to a specific market.
So they're durable.
They're durable, exactly.
Durable and tasty.
Right. And they're a California original. They got started in La Habra Heights, California, correct?
That is correct. Yeah, it's the variety that was started by Mr. Hass.
And how did
now it's grown in many places outside of California.
Right, but how did he come up with this one particular avocado? What's behind it?
Well, he was basically testing different varieties and grafting varieties into other varieties, and eventually came up with the Hass avocado, which he was a postman back in the early 1900s. So it's a kind of fun story, but it's a great gift to the world when you think about it. I mean, Super Bowl, I think 158 million Hass avocados will be consumed.
How many? 158 million?
158 million Hass avocados will be consumed, and if you convert that to pounds, it's about 79 million pounds of avocados.
Jeez,
to be consumed.
That's about one for every 3 people in the U.S.
Yeah, we actually have a fun way of saying it. If you were to take the stadium and fill it up with avocados, you would have from end field to end field 30 feet. You will fill up the stadium 30 feet.
That's a lot.
Wow.
It's kind of like almost to that.
That is
at the end post,
Yes.
That is a Super Bowl of guacamole.
Very well put, Betty. And they haven't always been this popular for the Super Bowl. I saw some statistics that your organization put out that's shown quite a jump over the past decade or so.
That is correct. About 10 years ago, only 8 million pounds of avocados were consumed. So this, you're looking at almost tenfold that for this season. And really the reason for that is, first, you can't make guacamole without Hass avocados, like we just said.
Right.
But also, consumers are going beyond traditional guacamole to spice up their parties. You were talking about just when you introduced me, how people were going to use avocados. But, sandwiches, guacamole. But also people, believe it or not, being a little more adventurous, and they're adding fruit like mango or pineapple to make it a little bit of a tropical flair, and then they're also trying it with seafood, adding crab and so on. Or you also have one of my favorites is a BLT guacamole, which is bacon and tomato with avocados, and it's just to die for.
We're speaking with Emiliano Escobedo. He's the executive director of the Hass Avocado Board, speaking with us from Zurich, Switzerland at the airport there, which I think is kind of fun. We are sharing a recipe. We're talking about people experimenting with different ways to serve it. It is called the Tomatillo Touchdown Guacamole. It is courtesy of avocadocentral.com, but you can find it at eatrickexplore.com. And it looks like it's a pretty tasty. If I wasn't going out to see the game today, I would be making it, but I'll make it in the days to come. For sure.
It sounds really good. Although what he was just talking about a moment ago, I want to hear more about the bacon tomato. I'm not a tomato fan, but I can eat it in some forms. And tell us what that is, the bacon one you were talking about.
Well, you basically grab avocados, fresh avocados, and you also, you'll make some bacon and chop it up into small pieces. And then you're going to add to your guacamole, you make a traditional guacamole, which is just onion, a little bit of jalapeno, and cilantro, and then you add the bacon and tomatoes.
I love
now,
it.
there's also a winter. I know that in California we don't really have a strong winter. That was cold a couple of weeks ago, but you can also add some sun-dried tomatoes to it, and it's actually really, really yummy.
Oh, that would be good.
Sounds really good.
Hey, so speaking of California, what percentage of the Hass avocados grown in the U.S. are grown here in the Golden State?
Almost all of them. Of 90%, 99% of all avocados consumed in the United States of the California grown. I'm sorry, let me restate that. About 95% of those avocados that are grown in the United States are grown in California.
Okay, that makes sense. When I used to live in the Midwest, Emiliano, and I would go out to eat, if a restaurant had a burger or a sandwich or an omelet that had avocado in it, it was instantly called the California burger, the California sando, the California omelet. All you had to do was add avocado,
and you had a California something.
Yes.
Right. One of the other things that is boosting the consumption of Hass avocados, people are making healthier choices, and avocados fit perfectly whenever you're trying to have a nutrient-dense diet. As you know, or you may not have spoken about this already, but avocados are a nutrient booster, and they contain naturally good fats, nearly 20 vitamins and minerals. So it's a really nice package. When you bite into that avocado or slice into it, you're getting a lot of vitamins, a lot of minerals, and they're monounsaturated fats, which are good for fighting and cardiovascular diseases.
I think we've learned over time now that it's not. There was a period there in the late 80s, 90s where it was like, we need to cut fat out of our diet.
If you eat fat, you are fat.
Completely, right?
Yes.
And then we've, as we've evolved and learned about how food works, fats are actually a good way to diet. And avocado fat, and avocado oil is great to cook with because has a really high smoke point. You can get that oil nice and hot.
That is right. And it's the monounsaturated fats that are in the avocado. They're similar to the fat that you'll find in olive oil. And so you always have good fats, you have bad fats, and avocados have plenty of good fats, which make it an ideal dish. Because, fat carries taste. So that's why whenever you add an avocado to anything, and you're really going to highlight that taste. If you're making tacos, or if you're making guacamole, or if you're just having it by itself with a little bit of salt and lemon, like the avocado purists would, you always get that really nice flavor. And you can also do it in smoothies. You could do it with yogurt and honey, and you can add different kinds of fruits. So it's the great versatility about it.
I've heard about people putting it in smoothies, and I think that's very cool. AvocadoCentral.com. Emiliano Escobedo, the executive director of the Hass Avocado Board. Thank you so much for joining us from Zurich. I imagine you have some good news to spread about avocados there in Europe, so we'll let you go and do that.
Thank you so much. Have a great Super Bowl day.
Thank you. Stick around, everyone. This last half hour is all about your Super Bowl party and how to really make it sing. We're back in just a moment.